minutes ago. Here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the Minnesota Vikings. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35, but make it the 40. Yard line.
Take over first and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
Tight down. There you go.
They'll start on the ground with Foster. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
You got nothing today. You got nothing.
Foster on second down. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. That's caught by the Notre Dame man. It's Durham Smythe. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On second down and 4. Rosen. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. From 4 yards out. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. You'd have to imagine for a team that's lost 3 straight games, scoring first in this first quarter has to feel pretty good.
It has to feel great for them, and also it's a nice signal to the rest of the team because we talk about complementary football all the time. So they've now signaled to the defense, now signaled to the kicking game, hey, we're here to play in this one. We're going to do our part. Let's see if you guys will do the exact same, and we can break this losing streak.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
Here we go.
At their own 23-yard line.
Go, son. 50.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Throwing here on third down, Darnold. He'll have a first down past the 40. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. That one goes for 24 yards.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that first down on third down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
On second and 11 now, Darnold, and that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Darnold from the gun. Completes it to Samuel. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Vikings. Curtis Samuel, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Point after here coming up. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Great return.
In a tie game, both sides are looking for something to give them an advantage. It often falls back on special teams. And that return, that could be the spark to untie the game.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they get to the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. Delayed give to Foster. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
Now he dumps this off over the middle. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
first down carry for Foster. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Steps away to his left. Now he'll pull it down. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Now how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Here we go, kid, get off the field.
And now it's Rosen looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And his kick is good. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
From the 29, Darnold. And that's going to be incomplete. Xavier Howard with a good coverage that time as he was there and knocked it away.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Darnold. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. This is Foster. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Check, watch 54, watch 54.
They'll try and run for it with Foster. And he's got room. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. So they went to the ground game on 3rd, hoping to pick up the 1st. They also picked up a touchdown.
Offensive linemen so used in this situation to having to pass block. All right, you're looking at what it is, 3rd down. They don't care that it's 3rd and whatever. They figure they're going to throw the ball. And when you call a running play, I think you energize them. I think you juice them up because I haven't met offensive linemen yet that likes to pass block more than they like to run block. And they opened up some nice holes there for him, and he took it to the house.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
After one, 17-7 is our score.
Dolphins 17, Vikings 7.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's second and 11. To throw is Darnold. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Dolphins touchdown.
Let's go.
So a pick six there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick six going the other way.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe they're returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. After the loss to start out, here's second and 11.
They're not ready for this, man.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And good pressure defensively to stop him for a loss of a couple. Now, there's also a flag to go with it. Now, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
So, following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
52's the mic right here, over there, right? 52's the mic. You can't block me.
Darnold now to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. So the punt rolls out of bounds, and they'll have pretty good field position here up near the 40-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. Rosen will throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Gilbert. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 36. Milage. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
On 2nd down now. It's Foster, and he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now, there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. So their move is to decline that so they don't get another 2nd down. It'll be 3rd.
So that has to tell us that they're pretty confident in their 3rd down defense, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's their sub package or nickel package, whatever they want to run out there, they feel like they can defend here on 3rd down.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Rosen to throw. And that is incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that will push this lead up to 20 now. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
You don't want none.
Here's Darnold. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On the run, it's Foster.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Now it's Rosen. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Green's first catch of the game. Good for a 1st down. On 1st down, it's Foster. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway, because that's your strength.
On second down, it's Foster. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The Dolphins on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Rosen. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked up by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
At their own 8-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. On 2nd and 11 now. Darnold. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Zach Brown able to take him down. It's a loss of 3.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. Taking a shot for Samuel. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
54 Mike. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming, baby.
They'll run on 1st down. Foster. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the 36, Rosen. Green brings it in. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Here's a run on 1st down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. 2nd and 11. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Time.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Now it's Darnold. Taking a shot for Samuel. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
On 2nd and 10, Darnold. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 31-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Darnold. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. And since they still have 10 yards to go, they'll just say, let's roll this over to 3rd down and decline it.
Let's just be honest about it. If you can't get them off the field on 3rd and 10, then something's wrong with your defense anyway. No sense in taking that penalty.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10.
3 down. Mike 50.
Darnold to throw again. Oh, he's going to go for it all. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try to add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
I'm here all day.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. On 2nd and 9, Darnold looking for his running back, and he's got him. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation.
Well, they certainly haven't been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after them now.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Back to throw, Darnold. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Raekwon McMillan in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. It'll be a 48-yard punt, 5 there on the return, and it'll be Dolphin football.
At their own 38-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They run. It's Foster. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A Miami first down on the 14-yard pickup.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. On first, they stick with Foster. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll hand off to Foster. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. On third down, Rosen. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
You don't know no better. He's coming. Double up.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
It's third and 10.
2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's third and 10. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Again, this is Foster, and he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They keep it in the hands of Foster. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. They got to get to the 23 here on third.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Here's Rosen. And able to find Green. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Again, running right, Drake. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the third.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Let's go one more. Watch twist.
On third down, Foster. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it could be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Darnold. Open man is Samuel, complete. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 43-yard line.
Before they can snap it, time runs out on this third quarter of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Double tight. 4 down.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Darnold. It's caught by Treadwell. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Darnold now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Again, Darnold. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Here we go.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Throwing again is Darnold. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal.
Tight right. Ready.
To the air again, Darnold. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. They give it and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Second and 10 at the 8-yard line.
On second down now. It's Foster, and he's only able to work this from the 8 to the 10 for a pickup of 2.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The Dolphins on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 9. Now Rosen looking to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Gilbert. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Darnold over the middle, complete to Samuel. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. And he's been one of their few bright spots here this afternoon.
And as you pointed out, so far he's gotten his. That's not been the issue at all. But the teammates, the other guys, they've been shut down. That's why the defensive guys have to feel pretty good, even though he's over 100 yards.
Yeah, he topped 100 with that last catch. On first down, Dickerson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell. That'll bring up second down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
Motion out of the backfield. Check 52's the mic. Check 52's the mic. Red 80. The screen. Pass. Jim.
Second down and 10. Darnold. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning.
They'll run it with Johnson. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Give him 2 yards on that one. Second and goal now.
Every team we ever talk to that continues to run the ball in a game, even when they haven't had much success, all talks about attrition, don't they? If you keep running it, eventually good things are likely to happen. It's been a hard go in this game today, hasn't it?
Yeah, this defense, they've met pretty much every challenge in front of them this afternoon.
They're still trying to run the ball, but they're not finding much space.
And Johnson on an island by himself in the backfield. Second and goal. To throw is Darnold. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Here's Darnold. And now here is another interception. Snags it for the pick. The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he had won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
You better be afraid of me.
They run it with Balaj. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
Single, slot.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
Let's face it, you always want a team full of guys who can get you 1st downs and big plays of all styles, but you've got to have a big man. You can just turn and hand it to, and he can be dependable in picking up 1st downs.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And again this time to the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one go in the wrong direction. And they will take a knee here.
It's a loss of a yard, and it's 3rd down.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Dolphins, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they too will leave here at 1-3. And fortunately for them, they'll have the early bye next week
as they return to action in Week 6. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.